This is my in-depth look at the volcanics and my deck that has topped at regional at locals recently, and I've done it several times, and it does really good against all the matchups. Usually 2-0 people. Sometimes we go through a third game, but that was one against like Spiritual Beast when they pulled out of Macros Cosmos, and I didn't have an MST for it at the time. But other than that, it did really good. Don't usually have a problem. It does. It's very fantastic, and it's a cheap deck to make. All right, let's get into the monsters. I run one Volcanic Doomfire. I'll be running two. His effect is really good. Gives a lot of field presence since he's a 3,000 beater. In effect, he destroys all your opponent's monsters when he destroys one, and they take 500 damage for each. Plus, they have to attack him on the battle phase, so he's really good. And you get to put a Blade Seller Reload in the graveyard with his effect. So, really good to have. He's won me a lot of games. 3 Volcanic Rocket, basic, 1900 beater, give you your Blaze Accelerator. Very, very good. It helps you make your rank 4s, synchros, and XYZs, sorry. 3 Scatter Shots, MVP of the deck. They're so good. When one gets sent to the graveyard by Blaze Accelerator, you send the other 2, destroys all monsters on your opponent's side of the field, plus they take 500 damage for each. And they're very easily recyclable with guards. 3 Volcanic Shell. The deck's too slow without them. Helps fuel your Blaze Accelerator and Blaze Accelerator Reload. Makes them very alive and gets you a lot of draws because of Blaze Accelerator Reload. Most people run 1. I run 3 Volcanic Counters. It's so good. Won me so many games. When it's in the graveyard, you take battle damage. It gets banished, and they take damage equal to the amount you took. And if you have more than 1 in your graveyard, they take an extra amount of damage for each. It multiplies for each. Like if you say you take 1,000, there's you instantly burn for 1,000. You have more than 1. Now they take 2,000, 1,000 for each. I had somebody where they attacked me with a 2,500 attacker, and I had 2 of them in my graveyard. They take 25 for each since he attacked directly. 5,000 damage. I won the game. And I've won many games like that. And a lot of people skew once they see it in the graveyard and their life's really low. It happens a lot. 3 Firestorm Guards. You need 3 to recycle your cards. So very good. Plus he's a 1700 beater. Plus he's a level 4 for your rank 4s. 3 Pod Dualities. Keeps the speed. Help you get to your Blaze and other cards you need faster. You don't really special summon a lot, so it doesn't affect you. MSTs, of course, destroy back row, destroy your own Blaze Accelerator Reload, etc. Good to have. I run 2 instead of 3. Sometimes I'll side in a 3rd if I have it in my side. I run 2 Fairy Winds in my side deck. So, Foolish Burial helps send like Shell to the graveyard, so you can put 1 in your hand. Helps plays go off, or if you need a 4th Pyro for your Royal Guards. So, very good card to have in there. I run Bear from a different dimension. Most people try to ban your Scatter Shots and such like that from your graveyard. And your counters, when they get banned for their effect, you can recycle them. And especially recycling your counters is so good. I've made people scoop because of this card and putting the counters back in the graveyard. Helps out like when the Cross bring out Trishula, which has happened to me many times. You'll be able to get your banned monsters back, and it helps you keep on being able to play. 1 Magic Planner. I was running 2. I'll be going back to 2, most likely, but running 1 in this build. It's really good. Recycle your Fiendish Chain that's stuck or that you don't need, or your Blaze Accelerator Reload. Very good card to have. Get 2 draws for it. I run 1 Blaze Accelerator. It's so good. It can be used with Scatter Shot, Shell, and any of them. Even if you have an extra Royal Firestorm Guard, it helps to keep it very alive, and you can destroy a monster on the field. That is so good. It won me a lot of games with it. 1 Regeki, basic, clear off the field so you can get some direct attacks, or if they start swarming the field. Alright, we're going to go on the traps. Of course, 3 Blaze Seller Reload. Main card of the deck. Need it. 3 Reckless Greed. The biggest thing about Reckless Greed, you got to know when to activate it. you want to make sure that you're not going to be put in a situation where you're going to lose the game because you activated it too early, or in a situation where you've been screwed. So you got to think ahead before you activate it, because that's 2 turns without draws. But once you got a good hand going and you got a setup going, these, when you activate it, those draws won't even affect you. You go past them really fast. Plus, it makes you even more powerful with your hand. Gives you a lot more presence when you get those extra 2. I've won games because of using Reckless Greed, giving me a couple cards I needed that give me so much defense or aggressiveness that it's actually won me the game. So it's good to have a 3. I run 3 Magic Cylinder. Helps with the burn. A lot of people run into them, or if they see me get it with like Power Duality, they get pretty scared. And once they know I have them in the back row, or I have them in my deck, they'll be a lot more wary to attack because that's burning their life off. Make sure you know when to use it accordingly. It makes all the difference. I run 3 Fiendish Chains. Stops a lot of decks that it saves me. It's defensive, also gets rid of their effects, and it saved me many times. Comes handy against a lot of decks. It usually never goes bad. Only problem with it is that it targets. That's about it. My 1-ups, bottomless, basic, clear off the field. 1 Vanity's been hit the 1. But Stu, what comes in handy, it's saved me several times. Even though it's at 1, I tend to see it since I'm thinning my deck out. So, Ring of Destruction, this has been so good in the testing with it. I've tested a lot. This is the new edition since it just came off the ban list. What definitely helps win games, especially when you have a little bit of life left. You can hit your monster, you can hit their monster. You can do so much with it. It doesn't really go bad. Unless, of course, your life points are really low. Compulse, it's basic. I like clearing off the field. If I need to go for a direct attack with, like, Rocket or Firestorm Guards. Very good to have. Stop some plays, too. Comes in handy all the time. Alright, that's it for the main deck. I'm going to go through my extra deck. And I'm missing a couple cards from my extra deck that I usually use during tournaments like Cowboys and such. First, the Volvo Chain. He is very good. This is usually one of the first rank 4s I'll bring out. Because with his effect, I can send Blaze Accelerator to the graveyard so I can use it with Scattershot. It's so good. I usually don't use this other effect to put a monster on top of my deck unless I need to. I usually use it to send Blaze, which just came in handy a lot of times and actually won me games too. So the Volvo Chain is very good to have in this deck. I would probably run 2, but I'm running 1 right now because that's all I have. Maelstrom. This deck needs its defense because you don't always have a monster in the field. Most of the time you actually don't. So I run Maelstrom for defense when it's needed. It's actually helped save me some turns and actually came back for the win. Steel Swarm. Against a lot of decks like Necroz, it comes in handy. And a lot of other decks like Burning Abyss, such. Steel Swarm Roach is really good to have. A Luminescent Knight. He's really good to have. Especially against decks that use a lot of targeting. He's helped out. I don't bring him out that much, but he has his uses. Diamond Dire, basic. Helps you get rid of something that you need to get rid of, such as Macros, Cosmos, or whatever you may need. Number 80, basic. Mist Dweller, basic. I run Shining Elf just in case I have 2 Scash Shots on field by chance. You never know. I just threw it in there. And of course, Extinction Knight. Basic. It comes in handy too. I've used it a lot. I'm going to go ahead and go to my side deck. This is my more recent side deck that I had tournaments. My side deck changes all the times, but this is what it is currently. 2 Effect Veilers. Help against Necroz too. To stop their Manju and Senju and Unicorn, such like that. It comes in handy. And Burning Abyss and all that good stuff. 2 Dark Holes. Self-explanatory. More destruction. More protection. Book of Moon. Basic. 2 Mind Crush. Helps get rid of their hands. Especially stops Cleese now that they're hit to 2 Scouts. When they go to search, you can hit the Scout, or if they're searching with Scout, you can hit whatever they get. And a lot of other decks that you know the deck very well. Comes in a lot handy. Same thing with Fairwind. Against Cleese and other decks that are trap heavy. Or side them in against decks that may have face-ups like Macros Cosmos, and it can also hit my own place on it. So Fairy Wind's really good. Use 2 pull on the rug against Necroz when Manju sends you, or against you Sinju, and any other deck that basically normal summons. These help win me games too. These come in handy a lot. Wall of Disruption, mostly against Cleese and OTK decks. Lowers each of their monsters' attacks down by 800 times how many monsters they got in the field, and it stays at that attack. Most time, it takes it right down to 0 attack. Very good card. 1 Mirror Force on my side for more defense. Same thing with Finger Twin Blacks and Torrential Tribute. Basic thing. That's basically that's my side deck. I do really good with this version of my Volcanics. It's been fine-tuned and it tests very well at locals. Most time I either go undefeated or maybe lose just once. I never have a problem with it. It takes on even most meta decks. The only problem is really Necroz. That's it. That's because of Trish and Gunyear saving their monsters. And Trish banning cards. That makes it really hard. I played against Burning Abyss. I won against Burning Abyss. Some Burning Abyss, it's like goes back and forth. It just depends on what they get and what I get. Bad hands, breaking, stuff like that. That would be it for my Volcanic deck in-depth deck profile. Thank you all for watching.